And I running out of time. Good morning to you, Grenada 12th, pretty much the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. A wonderful good morning to you wherever you are. Waking up to the sound of classic in the morning time. It's another great day in God's wonderful creation. The voice of the Queen of Soul in the background. The late Aretha Franklin. It's your boy JC here with you on a wonderful, a terrific Tuesday morning. It's the 12th day of the month of October. Another great day in God's wonderful creation, and I'm happy that you are alive and well. I'm here, and we are going to have ourselves a bumper day. You don't have to believe it quite yet. Maybe you didn't sleep on the right side of the bed, but you are going to wake up on the right side of the bed. You're going to roll over and consider everything that happened in the last few seconds yesterday, and that is history, Grenada. And we are not going to be worrying too much about yesterday, and it is all gone. Let's focus on today. A brand new day, a day of new beginnings. A day that allows us to say, this is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it and be grateful for all of his bounties. Well, among his bounties, the fact that we're here and we still collective, we're going to just focus for a bit on the word for the day. The word for the day is latter. The word for the day, latter. And it is an adjective, and the latter defines belonging to a subsequent time or period, or more recent, or the latter stages of growth, or relating to the end in their latter days. Yes? So the word latter is an adjective, and it is spelled L-A-T-T-E-R. That's the word latter. Of ham and beef, the latter meat is cheaper today. I'm not necessarily certain if that is a fact, but so you hear the word latter and you're probably trying to put it into perspective. So let's look at some synonyms and some antonyms for the word latter. So bottommost, closing, concluding, final, lag, last, latest, rearmost, terminal, terminating, ultimate. Those, of course, would be words that mean the same thing as latter, and they're words that are opposite in meaning. Would be, so if it's not the latter, it's the first, or the beginning, earlier, foremost, headmost, inaugural, initial, lead-off, maiden, opening, original, pioneer, primary, starting. So the word for today, the 12th day of October, is latter. L-A-T-T-E-R, and it is an adjective. Yeah, keep that in mind. Yes? Yes. So the word for today is latter. Well, should we get you up and about, rousing you? I'm not sure what your plans are for today, but certainly let's see how we can talk to ourselves today as we look at some thoughts for the day. Now, as we rise each morning, let us determine to respond with more love and kindness to whatever may come our way. It's one of our thoughts for the day. You know, we wake up every morning and we just assume things are going to fall in place randomly. That's not the case. It doesn't randomly fall in place. You have to do what you can. So as we rise each morning, as we rise this morning, as we're waking up, we're going to determine to respond with more love and kindness to whatever might come our way. Yesterday, we were saying that we would not allow our emotions to be affected by the immaturity of others. Today, we're going to resolve that we're going to add a little something else to it. Today, second thought for the day, today will never come again. And let's keep that in mind. Today will never come again. So, be a blessing. Be a friend. Encourage someone. Take time to care. Let your words heal and not wound. Because why? Today, it comes and it is history, never again to return. So today, let us again encourage ourselves to be a blessing, be a friend, encourage someone, and take time to care. Our second thought for the day, as we get ready for the day, it is 17 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock, reminding you that in just a bit, we get ready for the morning edition here on Classic Radio. For those of you that's on television, you get a rebroadcast of some of the top stories of the newscast from last evening. You're getting ready for the day. I want to encourage you to plan your day. Resolve within yourself. Today, I'm going to be the best version of myself. Whatever happened yesterday is all gone. Can't do anything about it. But today, I'll be the best version of myself. We're getting ready for the morning edition, the production for News and Current Affairs Department. And that comes up in just a bit right here on Classic. Television viewers, we send you back to Master Control. And I'll rejoin you on the other side of the clock when we'll be talking with my guest this morning, Dr. Spencer Thomas. Having a nice little chit-chat on mental health. Yeah? How are you coping in this day and age? I'll tell you all about my stories, my sagas, but the morning edition is next, right here on Classic. So long for now, my television viewers.
News in detail. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell engaged Grenadians in the diaspora during a virtual engagement over the weekend. During the session, the nation's leader addressed many of the concerns shared as the island deals with a devastating and deadly wave of the rapidly spreading COVID-19. Chrislina John begins this evening's newscast.
Grenadians in the diaspora have over the years and in recent months given back to the country. As recent as September, some in the medical field have returned to offer assistance and provide medical aid in getting Grenada back to a state of normalcy. This weekend's interactive virtual diaspora meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, he acknowledged their various contributions. During his remarks, the Grenadian leader reiterated the call for everyone to encourage their relatives to get vaccinated. PM noted the intent of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs in charting the way forward.
The office will work closely in coordination with ministries, government units, and other persons and organizations in the diaspora and at home. The initiative is receiving support from the UN International Organization for Migration through a mapping component designed to learn more about the socio-economic profile of the Grenadian diaspora. Through a collaboration project with the International Organization for Migration, we have completed a diaspora mapping project and a skills gap analysis to address local needs, to fill gaps and strengthen existing capacities throughout the length and breadth of the country.
From the meeting, it was acknowledged that social media plays a huge part in people's hesitance to be vaccinated. One participant, a lawyer, says she believes outside influence can play a role in getting people on board.
And in Toronto, Canada, we're at about 85 to 90% vaccination rate. So what my question is, could you use this information? Because a lot of times Caribbean folks are hearing information from non-Black, non-Caribbean doctors, and they just don't trust it. And I feel like that's a lot of what we're seeing in Grenada. Is just a lot of mistrust and misinformation just flying all over the place. And it really helped our community get on board. And we had a huge influx of vaccines right after that. So
it says 99% in Grenada, 95% of the people that have in fact died because of COVID-19 are unvaccinated. Only 2% are those who vaccinated, and most likely are people that have serious underlying problems, a lot of medical problems that even vaccine don't seem to be able to save. Why you don't want to be in the statistics of 90, 95 and 99%? Why do you want to be in the category of 2.9%? It frightens me, that logic.
And if I may,
Dr. Taisha Donald was also on the panel. She brought Grenadians abroad up-to-date information re the COVID-19 situation in Grenada, noting the lowest number of hospitalized cases since the start of the community outbreak in August. She noted also the continuous push towards getting most of the population vaccinated.
In terms of our hospital services, we've had a record low number of cases since our start of this community spread. We have a total of 31 cases at the General Hospital, a total of 9 cases at the Princess Alice Hospital, and 1 case at the Princess Royal Hospital. A total of 41 cases within our hospital services. And this is a significant improvement from us being generally between the 50 to 65 range. Hospital services, we have been very, very happy, and we have felt very, very much elated at the level of love and support that we've gotten from members of the diaspora. We've received many donations, we've received technical support, and we even had some, foot on the ground, as we would say, and for that we appreciate it. At the moment, again, we're working toward trying to decrease our numbers further to go back to where we were a few weeks ago.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, in addressing Grenadians in the diaspora, expressed gratitude for their continuous contributions in different areas. Dr. Mitchell responded to questions on inventory of items received, especially for medical purposes. Christelina John, GBN News.
On more positive note, the classroom doors of St. George's University have reopened for face-to-face teaching and learning after 2 weeks of closure. But there are new rules in place for staff and students to follow as the institution works to limiting exposure to the virus in and around its campus while maintaining a safe learning environment for all. More in this report.
After 2 weeks of suspending face-to-face learning at the St. George's University due to the spread of the COVID-19 virus on island, classroom doors are reopened for staff and students from today, Monday, October 11th. According to a recent press release issued by the university, staff and students are required to take an antigen PCR test upon return as a means to try to curb the spread of the virus within their walls. As active COVID-19 cases dropped to under 400 in Grenada from almost 3,000 last month, with 180 deaths, the university saw it fit to return to the classroom, deeming it somewhat safer for workers and students to travel to and from the institution. The workforce and student body of the school can be seen entering the compound on Monday morning, ready for the day ahead. One of the requirements for face-to-face learning at the university is that everyone needs to be fully vaccinated and all other stipulated COVID-19 protocols are followed. In a news release over the weekend, SGU stated that while they continue to see a very low number of infections on campus, they will maintain periodic screening of all members of the SGU community. And all decisions made is in the spirit of community support and with an abundance of caution to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in Grenada. The learning institution says they will continue to welcome students from all schools to in-person learning on campus in Grenada for the January 2022 term, with the option of online learning available under certain circumstances. While the university reopens its classroom doors, schools across the island are still closed, waiting on government's decision. Standing outside St. George's University, I am Rena P. Thomas reporting.
Some Grenadians are breathing a somewhat guarded sigh of relief as the new cases of COVID-19 continue to show a downward trend, with daily recovery showing promise. However, a former official in the Ministry of Health who recently went back into private practice says it's time to plan to prevent a second wave. We get more in this report.
Grenada continues to see a downward trend with COVID-19 and related deaths. Now the question is, how do we as a country go forward? Dr. Francis Martin says while we are seeing the backside of this outbreak, to ensure this trend continues, everyone must play their role.
Three things that we know stop COVID. There's no magic to it, and now we have a fourth measure. The three measures that stop COVID is wearing a mask satisfactorily, sanitizing your hands or cleaning your hands as most often as you can, and a respectable practical distancing. Those are the only three things that we know in the world that stop COVID, and that story is not going to change. It will continue to be the same. Now we have an additional tool, which is a fourth tool that I call it, and that's the vaccination. As I've said many times before, vaccination is not the only way to get out of the pandemic. There are other ways to get out of the pandemic, but at the moment, vaccination is the easiest, the simplest, and the most practical. I don't see any other way of doing it than to adopt a all of society shared responsibility approach. It has to be shared responsibility. all of society involvement. It cannot be Ministry of Health or government alone. As a matter of fact, Ministry and government right now are basically powerless to stop whatever is happening at the community level. It has to be shared responses and shared responsibilities. So, to my mind, the strategy has to do, how do we engage community at their levels? What are the strategies that helps community activities to be successful? Look and see what has been successful in communities in raising awareness and helping people to take ownership of the behaviors and what have you.
Dr. Martin spoke about some of the changes he encountered on his education drives throughout the country, informing people about COVID-19 and the value of vaccination in preventing a second wave.
There are evidence that it is possible to change people's view on those issues. But of course, there are some people who are still very, very adamant about that. But because of the numbers of sessions that I've been doing, at the end of every session on COVID and vaccinations, I have converters thanking for the information, understanding much more better now, and making the decision to go forward. And I would call it go forward to stop the second wave. They go forward to take the vaccine, but to me, taking the vaccine is to stop the second wave. So I am very hopeful and have faith that we are going to get there.
As of Sunday night, Grenada has 368 active cases, of which 7 are new. There are 3 deaths and 37 remain hospitalized. Since the first COVID-19 case was recorded in Grenada in March 2020, a total of 5,626 cases were recorded, with 5,078 recoveries and 180 deaths. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Grenada's Fiscal Responsibility Oversight Committee report calls for clarity in public-private partnership operations and transactions, while appealing for the establishment of a registry or database of all public-private partnerships. We get the details in this report.
Grenada's Fiscal Responsibility Oversight Committee has repeated calls for government to make clear blurred lines arising from public-private partnerships. The FROC report for April 2020 gave a stop sign to government's dealings as the committee reiterated calls for several public-private partnerships to be formally scrutinized to ascertain their PPP status. The report pointed to 4 specific projects they are seeking clarity on. The arrangements for land reclamation and development on Melville Street, St. George, in which the Grenada Ports Authority and the National Insurance Scheme are involved. The Tyrrell Bay Land Reclamation and Development in Carriacou, in which the Grenada Port Authority is involved. The arrangements for the provision of postal and related services, in which the Grenada Postal Corporation is involved, and the Grenville Commercial Complex project. The FROC committee, in its report, said it is strongly recommending the establishment of a registry or database of all public-private partnerships, and that a system be developed to monitor their performance primarily in respect to the acquisition of debt and debt servicing. The system should also identify and monitor the contingent liabilities for central government resulting from any public-private partnerships present, the report concluded. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Have the elderly among us become targets of perpetrators? Shouldn't they at least be respected? Well, speaking to a few senior citizens on the streets earlier today, they told GBN some of their experiences are not quite positive, especially when conducting business.
During the past week, GBN brought you the stories of 2 elderly individuals in the 80s coming under attack by young people. One was made to vent for his life, having found thieves on his farm. The other, a victim of multiple break-ins and rape. Another complained to GBN of being a victim of ridicule at a business establishment in St. George by a security officer stationed there. The recent spike in COVID cases has already claimed the lives of many elderly citizens. As according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, at least 130 of the 180 COVID-related deaths recorded in Grenada are people described as elderly or senior citizens. As the month of October has been designated the month of the elderly, GBN wanted to hear and share their experiences and what they would like to see put in place for them.
they don't provide nothing for us, such as good medical, or if you, well, I don't even know what to say, because I get so confused with this COVID thing, because they're not addressing it right. The reason why they don't addressing it right is because I do believe the leaders of our country lying for us. That is, eat good food and stay up.
Digital equity for all ages is the theme for the month-long observance. These individuals expressed concern about the older citizens not being techno-savvy, especially in accessing their finances and paying bills.
For the old people, they shouldn't have to be lining up to go in supermarket, to go and pay bills, or do nothing. They are elderly citizens. As soon as they come, first priority, right? The bank with this telecard and all these things, and they putting pressure on old people to pay bills. That is too strenuous for them.
I find you must have the ministries, like when you're paying bills for the ageable people, especially for the ageable people. When they come to pay the bills, they're supposed to be paying one area. We're not supposed to go to one apartment and go to the next department again.
This lady told GBN her encounter is with impatient drivers.
A lot of drivers, particularly the bus drivers, they feel that, as an elderly person, you shouldn't be on the road, you're in their way, and that sort of thing. They make such comments. But you have a business to run, you have things to get on with, so you get on with it anyway, in spite of their comments.
Another believes the answer is prayers, especially with the times being faced with.
Better healthcare, good road, right? And we're living in the days of the last days. They're dying by the dozens. So this kind of system we're living in the days in our. So what I think we need to do in this time, put God as our only Savior and trust in Him. God is the answer right now, not man, because man deceiving. So we have to pray, and we have to pray a lot. I think the answer is pray right now.
All right, now it's time for us to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
While on a nature walk with my family, there right in front of me was the most picturesque stretch of the Caribbean Sea. So says our citizen journalist. Our eyesore reporter was thrilled to be out and about on Sunday morning and captured this tranquil view of beautiful Grenada. Grenadians are breathing a sigh of relief as 1 month of stringent restrictions is released for the next 2 weeks. We thank our eyesore reporter for this scenic submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
While some police officers are readying themselves for retirement from the Royal Grenada Police Force in a few months, Police Chief Evlyn made a few adjustments to the present ranking of some. Chrislina John has that story.
On Friday, 24 senior officers were presented the letters of appointment to the positions of superintendents and assistant superintendents. Letters of appointment from the Public Service Commission were delivered by Commissioner Martin during a brief ceremony. Their appointments took effect September 1st, 2021 and will run for 1 year in the first instance. 10 officers rose to the rank of superintendent. They are Glenroy Corian, attached to the Fire Department, Anthony Anthony George Police Training School, Nola Lewis, South St. George Police Station, Bernard Nelson, Special Branch, Linford Kingston, second in charge of the Grenville Police Station, Wayne Wilson, IT and Communications Specialist, Paul Christopher, head of the Western Division, Leroy Joseph, Immigration, Kenneth Gill, Criminal Investigation Department, and Simon Dixon, the Drug Squad. The other 14 officers promoted to assistant superintendents are Kenneth Bascom, Western Division, Maureen Stanislaus, Training School, Simon Douglas, Police Prosecution, Quintel Charles, Immigration Department, Ryan Hall, CID, Sheldon Thomas, Financial Intelligence Unit, Linford Cummins, Drug Squad, Glenn Charles, South St. George Police Station, David Nelson, Police Garage, Trevor Rodney, Community Relations Department, Michael Pursue, Finance Department, Gillian Thomas, Immigration Department, Gason Gill, second in command in Special Branch, and Hudson Buckmeyer, Government House. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Business owners are being encouraged to fully embrace the new digital landscape. The advice coming from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank local branch manager Linda Felix Berkeley. It forms part of the Regional Banking Institute observance of Financial Information Month. The local branch manager thinks the pandemic has provided the ideal opportunity at changing the current business landscape.
And look at ways that you could do your business differently. And one of it is getting digital. Equipping yourself for the digital way of life, doing your online banking, on payments through your financial institution, using your cell phone to do business rather than going, in your actual physical presence. And we've seen a lot of businesses start doing that, especially the small ones, going digital, equipping yourself in the digital way of life. And what's also important is making saving, budgeting, and investing a habit for a more comfortable tomorrow.
World Food Day 2021. The virtual event showcases our food heroes, modern technologies in agriculture, and ingenuity of agro-processors. Celebrate with us our achievement, creativity, and explore the many opportunities in the sector. Be entertained by the best of our cultural extravagance. Join us October the 15th via Zoom, GIS, and Real FM. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture's Facebook page for more information.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Consumers Guarantee Insurance advises the public of a temporary change to their office hours, effective September 28. The new hours are Mondays to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. These office hours will continue until further notice. As we continue to cope with this pandemic, all are reminded to remain safe and follow all COVID-19 protocols. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 gigabyte daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 gigabyte daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in my Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Store foods safely in the event of an emergency or disaster. Check expiry dates and store items that are closer to expiration at the front of the cupboard. Protect opened packages of dried items from pests and losing freshness by placing them in containers with lids. Always keep food covered and stored away from cleaning items. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Let's get tough on breeder larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the families, don't steal produce from your brother. You're selling to traffickers, hotels, and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop breeder larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report breeder larceny, call 300.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at To us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
this beautiful island where there's so much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's the sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, yes. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, 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 sweet Grenada. Yeah, this is home.
I wanna see it. I wanna see it. I got a burning inside me. I don't wanna cool it down. No. This thing is hotter than fire. It's to see your kingdom come, Lord. Cause we fed up with the same thing. Wanna move to the realm of amazing. We wanna stop playing church and empty. Wanna live with the glorious raining down. So much more to see. Surrender totally. We want all you got to be. But most of all we want, your kingdom come. Your will be done. We will get out of the way. Oh no. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. We will move out of the way. Tell your neighbor, if it don't look like Jesus, if it don't smell like freedom, if it didn't drop from heaven, choreographed by the Spirit. If it don't line up with your word, make my spirit come alive. No need to apologize, just move. Oh, yeah. Look, I know you have your opinions, yeah. Now don't mean to shoot them down. But Jesus alone has dominion, and he never steered me wrong. And he said if I seek the kingdom first, and if after him I will first, he will break every single curse. He'll put Satan's plan in reverse for me. There's so much more to see. We want total liberty. We want all you got to be. But most of all we want, your kingdom come. Your will be done, Lord. We will get out of the way. Your kingdom come. Your will be done, Lord. We will move out of the way. Tell your neighbor, if it don't look like Jesus, if it don't break the chains, them down, if it didn't drop from heaven, originate in the spirit, if it don't line up with the word, make my spirit come alive. No need to apologize, just move. See, after we've had an encounter, Jesus, we want you to stay and live. Habitation is what we desire. Oh God, something has got to give. We want directions. We need corrections. No more obsessions. We learned our lessons. Only you can fix what we cannot fix. In the church and in politics, consecration we will not mix. Jesus and you are your fix. In 2020 we want you. All we want is your will be done, Lord. We will get out of the way. Oh now. All we want is your kingdom. All we want is your will be. Oh yeah. We will move out of the way. Tell your neighbor, if it don't look like Jesus, if it don't smell like freedom, if it didn't drop from heaven, choreographed by the Spirit, if it didn't match up with the word, make my spirit come alive. Don't need to apologize, just move. Thing I want to see it come. Wanna see it come. We want your kingdom come. I wanna see it come on.
want to say good morning again and welcome back to our listeners on GBN, our viewers on GBN Television, Channel 7 and Channel 11. And those of you that's following us via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.jd or via our Facebook page or the YouTube channel, welcome back. 23 minutes gone past the hour. My guest this morning is Dr. Spencer. And Doc and I, we're going to chit-chat for a while. And I know Doc would agree with me, and those who certainly have their own active interest in this conversation, that the conversation regarding mental health is not a sexy conversation. As I say, good morning to you, Dr. Spencer. How are you?
Morning, sir. I'm fine.
I always say that the conversation so wronged in mental health isn't one of the cute conversations that people are often willing to have. A person might quickly say to you, boy, the doctor diagnosed me with diabetes. I'm hypertensive. But very, very rare would somebody say to you, you know, boy, I'm stressed, I'm depressed, because of course of the stigmas that's associated with it. But let's put the conversation of mental health into perspective. When we refer to somebody's mental health, what exactly, Dr. Spencer, are we referring to?
Well, thank you again for having me, for having us, the Friends of the Mentally Ill. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day, and the theme is mental health in an unequal world. Yearly there is a theme. I heard you say that some people may tell you that they suffer from diabetes. Some of them even go, I would say jokingly, they have a name change because they tell you I am diabetic, I am hypertensive, rather than, as you say, they have diabetes. And because if I am that way, so my name is Evlyn Spencer. Do I want to change my name? I don't think so, but I'm comfortable with the name. But so if I am diabetic, what do I need to do? I'm comfortable with it, so it makes managing it kind of difficult. So mental health, it's a universal complaint, let's say, or that is how it should be looked at, because our brain is responsible for all that we do or say or see or think. It's the brain that functions there to help us to do that. And therefore, looking after the brain has to be or looking after ourselves has to be a lifelong something, starting with our parents. Our parents have to be prepared for this pregnancy and this delivery and how we're going to manage this offspring. So mental health, as I say, is just not the absence of or not the presence of an illness, but it has to be a lifestyle where we do certain things that will take care of us mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. That's the conversation.
So when we talk about mental health, there is a stigma attached to it. People, they think, well, this person, as they say locally, they're cuckoo. They're off the loose end. But a person's mental state may not necessarily have anything to do with that. Isn't that correct?
The mental state may not have anything to do with
them being, as they say, what we refer to in society as they being crazy or totally a lunatic or anything of that sort. It may have nothing to do with that, is it? Isn't it true that your mental state can be affected just by the daily rigors of life?
Of course, and even coming here, not coming, but even being on this platform this morning, there was some anxiety on my part. I've spoken to various, I speak to people every day, but there's still some anxiety, and that is a mental state, and it could be as devastating as anything else. As somebody who has cancer has a stroke, it devastates the individual who cannot leave his house and particularly in this time with the COVID, see people become very anxious, very, very anxious, and that they cannot function, can't sleep, lost their appetite, and so that's what I'm saying. Holistically, the brain does all of these things, so it's not just that portion of you where we say you're not in touch with reality. But there could be a lot of stress if you can't feed those 6 children that you have. You may not actually be psychologically ill, but you're very, very stressed.
Let us just focus there for a while, Doc, because, I mean, as friends of the mentally ill, there are your day-to-day daily challenges that you deal with. But certainly, now that we brought COVID into the fray, and we talk about your mental well-being, your inability, let's say you're probably without a job, you're concerned about what happens tomorrow. How should one go about dealing? And no wonder you're hearing conversations about anxiety attacks, people literally just trying to grapple with everything. So what would you recommend one should do in order to be able to deal with the daily stresses of life that affects us? I know what I said affects us.
Of course, it's us. It's always us. It's not them and we or us. But the issue is, it has to be. You see, it has to be a continuum. Yes. So we would have started our lives in this way by our parents. We spend time in the sun, we play games, we exercise, we eat right, we drink water, we have good social contacts, and so with this added stress now, it just means we will be heightening these activities that we would have been, that has been a part of us all our lives. So granted, we can't go out, but we could still keep in contact, or we should still try to keep in contact with our friends. We should still try to stay close to nature. And we have to be mindful that this too shall pass. It's not something, so unless we die by, let's say, the virus or something else, but this too will pass. But we have to be prepared for when it passes, that we still be able to function. So it's about keeping those things going, because basically that's what we will do to the individuals. Stay social as much as you can. If you have a garden and you could be outside, take care of that. When you could go on the beach, just go sit on the sand and listen to the waves break, or look at the sunset. These things will make us feel good within ourselves. Medication may come later on if you need something to help you sleep. Sorry.
It's interesting that you say that, because sometimes we tend to put a lot of stigma. If somebody says to you, I'm just going to the beach and sit and listen to the breaking of the waves, I'm going into the forest to listen nature, the chirping of the birds, the rustling of the leaves. Some people would think, well, you had to be something wrong with you. That's not normal. But you're saying that could be just as therapeutic as anything else that one gets involved in.
Of course it can. But not everybody would take to that. So you have to find what is your thing. But that is very, very therapeutic. And I recall one day I was talking to someone and I was saying the birds were making so much noise outside, but they didn't recognize that the birds are singing. They can't, you see, and if you recognize that they are singing, you will try to listen to the tones, the different melodies and so on, and come out there feeling relaxed. So it's how we think about life, and most of what happens to us deals with our thoughts. If you go out with negative thoughts, then the whole day. And I see you do a wonderful job in the morning. The young lady who was there a couple of weeks or months before you, she used to try and get people up in the morning and rising. We have to have good thoughts throughout our day. Negative thoughts will come in, but it's not to allow them to take roots in your head, and then you have to see somebody else to help you with some medication and so.
Keeping a positive mental attitude, no doubt. Let me ask you, how important is the whole conversation about talking, expressing one's self? How important is that as it relates, to being able to manage one's mental health?
Well, quite often we say a lot of what is done in the hospital is trying to get the patient to understand where he or she is and conversations with them to help with the mental state. So one needs to have someone, if you have issues in your household at work, you need to have someone with whom you could talk this thing through, and so try to understand, try and put a positive slant on it, rather than you be trying to harbor it in and saying, well, like, why we don't talk, you don't want to tell this person that this is what is bothering you. So conversation is always going to be worthwhile with saying all the circumstances, because persons need to know and you need to be able to deal with it that way.
Sometimes we underestimate the need to socialize, to call a friend, talk to somebody.
Yes.
We often we figure, well, it's my business. I don't want them into my business. But that's not always necessary. You would agree that sometimes we need somebody, even if it's just not to but you would agree though that that person that you choose to confide in, it should not be confidential, yes, and it should not be for the purpose of judging you. What would you say?
Of course, you don't want to be judging. The aim is to listen, and even if all you say, that person know that you're listening to them and the conversation, and you hear it, and that in itself is quite helpful, because I am downloading. You're having some catharsis about what is going on in your life, and somebody could help you. But you see, quite often, because of the say our mindset, we don't. I think every one of us should have a psychologist, or the psychologist probably doesn't have to be somebody professional, but somebody with whom, persons with whom you could speak and discuss issues. We all should have that, but sometimes we look at it because of our mindset and say, well, this is a craziness, and so that we do not see the need to talk to someone about what is bothering us, and then it makes things worse.
I guess the truth is, for those individuals who've gotten the extreme end of their mental state, where they've lost touch with reality, you would agree, had they adopted some of those proactive approaches in the initial stages, it's possible that they could have been rescued and avoid their current circumstances?
Well, to some extent, yes, but the conversation has to be happening at home too. Yeah? Persons at home must accept that all of my children or all of my family members will not be alike, and it's all right for us not to feel good sometimes. Right. So let's talk about it, and if it needs to get further help, then seek the help early. But the stigma that you alluded to earlier on gets in the way big time, as people would say, gets in the way very severely, so that individuals would wait sometimes for years before they seek help, and quite often the aim is not to let the public know, but the public knows, because I'm seeing, and this is what the community sees the change in Tom and Mary's behavior, and says to themselves that something is wrong with Tom and Mary, but you trying to gauge that it is happening and not seeking help, but the community is seeing. So the stigma, to some extent, kills, and because of our attitude and behavior, the persons whom we think have a mental illness gets they are shunned by everyone in society.
We've grown up seeing in society that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words don't do a thing. It's the biggest lie that we've ever allowed ourselves to be thought to actually believe. We're going to wrap in 2 minutes, Dr. Spencer. The importance of sleep. How critical is it, a factor, a component of one's life in the context of COVID, the stresses of life, sleeping?
Well,
I mean, adequate sleep, I should say.
Yes, adequate. Most of sleep is psychological, or we might not think so, but most of sleep is that way. And quite often when persons can't initiate the sleep, like you go to bed and you spend maybe 5-10 minutes and you should be fast asleep. Some people are there for a long time because not able to fall asleep because they have a lot of thoughts in their head, things that they did not deal with well during the day or days on end, or hearing voices in the head. Quite often that's what we see as persons who are not able to sleep. But a lot of sleep is mental. Is brain function, I should say.
But I know that would sway the conversation in a totally different direction.
A different but the brain needs to shut down nightly so that it as the rest of the body could get ready for the next day's work and function.
And I guess that's why ever so often it is, even they would advise you at some point in time, we need to just shut down or tune out from the things around you. It allows you to mentally detox.
Thank you. Yes, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Spencer.
One point before you leave, you talk about socializing. I always say the rum shops have a role to play. I'm not saying you should go and get drunk, but you go there and you socialize with your friends, you talk all sorts of talk, cricket, whatever sport, whatever is topical. But so that is an area where maybe the shopkeepers need to look at the premises and what they offer more so than just see myself as a shop where people come and get drunk and go home.
Interesting that you've actually brought that into the fray, the rum shop. We've always talked about the Caribbean and want to refer to as the rum culture and the little rum shops. You'll be surprised, and I agree with you, Doc. You would be surprised the sort of discussions that takes place in one of those small side shops, and who actually gets involved in those conversations. You will be totally surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. We had a rum shop in Belmont. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Evlyn Spencer. And again, we want you to say that dealing with individuals that are mentally ill, mentally challenged, it takes first a mental change in our head, how we perceive them. And certainly that conversation is not going to change until we change our behavior towards them and how we treat them and deal with them. 20 minutes on to the hour. We take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back right here on Classic Radio and GBN Television in the morning time.
The croton scale insect, a new threat to our agricultural production, is now creating major damage to several plants. Mango, soursop, plums, guava, avocado, and crotons are among the main ones affected. Excessive sooty mold, black blight, is associated with this pest. Take action now. Cut and burn infested fruits and shoots. Do not move infested materials to other areas. Treat with horticultural oils and recommended insecticides. Request assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture. Follow all safety protocols when burning trash or applying pesticides. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio. The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary, Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere. Start working at 8. That's not possible. That's not even remotely possible. And if by chance you think it's possible, then maybe something's a little bit... Welcome back to our viewers, those of you that just joined us on television. And indeed, it's a pleasure to be here with you. What's happening today, Grenada? Again, we want to say congratulations to our medical team, led by the Health Minister Nicholas Steele, the Honourable Nicholas Steele. Our dashboard as of yesterday, we registered 27 new cases, giving us a total of 321 active cases. And certainly the death column, it continues to rise steadily, 183 too much. But I want to ensure as we go forward that we appreciate how we got to where we are. And whatever part each and every one of us played, whether it was by not wearing our mask, it was not by not sanitizing, whatever part we played in getting where we are, let's acknowledge it. Whatever part you've been playing in trying to curb and address the problem, let's continue to to do this. Remember, this is our first wave, and you've heard the conversations that there's a first, a second, and a third. I'm not sure exactly how the science works, whether or not it is. You must go through all of them. All I'm saying is that let's not become complacent. We came from a position where we were in the thousands. Now we're literally back to square one, where we were a couple months ago. Let's hope that we can maintain that path, and each and every one of us do whatever we can, whatever we can to keep this position. In terms of post-cabinet, there's post-cabinet briefing today, and for those of you that's probably, if you follow it weekly, during today's briefing is going to be Senator Nolan Cox, Minister for Infrastructure Development, Transport and Implementation, Mrs. Hannah Julian St. Paul, the Permanent Secretary, as the acting Permanent Secretary with responsibility for hospital services, and then there's Dr. Taisha Donald, who's the Director of Medical Services, she's acting, and Dr. Dolan Noel. That's for post-cabinet. That's a post-cabinet briefing. So keep those things in mind as you plan the rest of the day. Remind you, at the top of the hour, we'll join the BBC for a bulletin of news. Today, on To The Point, that's at 9 o'clock, representing the National Democratic Congress would be Philip Alexander. He's going to be chiming in with me for an hour for To The Point, and certainly I want you to look forward for that encounter. As you go through the day, I want to encourage you to try to be the best version of yourself. How can I help somebody? What can I do to allow me, Joseph Cadore, to become a better person? Instead of asking yourself those questions, and maybe, but of course it starts with you first, recognizing your own shortcomings, recognizing those challenges in your life, and you going out and do whatever is it that you have to do. Take responsibility, folks, for your action. Please, it is one of the challenges. It is always easy to blame somebody for what is happening, what isn't happening, what you would like to see happen. The question is, what are you doing to be part of it? Are you just going to continue to, cry and... No. Take responsibility. Indeed, go out there and take responsibility and do whatever is it that we have to do. Reminding you, in case you just joined us, the word for today is latter. Latter, which is an adjective. We went through that this morning, and certainly that is the word for the day. Is a whole. I want to just, before we wrap in the next few minutes, parents, for those of you that's already left home, then that's fine. Those of you that's probably still home, I want you to pay particular attention to your children that are under your care. Now, the reality of it is that online learning, it's a new frontier for each and every one of us. I know what I'm saying, us. Now, being online and just surfing the internet is one thing. That's one thing. Watching your special program on Netflix, that's a different thing. Yeah, but actively engaging and learning online, it's a new frontier all by itself, and we have to adapt to it. So parents, you have to play your part to adapt to it. Children, you have to play your part to adapt to it. What can the parents do? Parents, you probably may want, of course, don't say, well, I'm too old for this. No, you're not too old for this. This is a new frontier. You have to accept what is happening and be able to adjust to the new social norms. Monitor what's happening with your children when they're online, because you might remember that they sit in front of a device may not necessarily know their schedule. So if their classes are from 9:30 to 10, then that's their session. Because some kids will sit in front of the device for the whole day, and you would assume reasonably that they're actively involved in learning. And that may not be the case. They may just be loading their brains with information that really and truly makes no sense. So parents, take charge of it. You want to make sure they're up early as per usual. They've had their breakfast, doing whatever is it that they have to do, and you would ensure that they have a really, really great day. Prevent them with a snack, even if they are leaving home. Don't have to force them during snack time to have to figure out what's for snack. They not only go to school with their break, let them know, listen, Jamie, Jaden, for break, this is what you have. So when they take the break, then they can just easily transition. Instead, they going through the house, rummaging, and then you wonder when you come back, where's all of the cookies you left there? Well, that's what's going to happen when you do not plan. So, take charge, take responsibility, do what you have to do, folks. Reminding you that the minister was saying just last week, the education minister was saying, listen, a child that's getting an A during COVID, they may well have been given an A, yes, or they got an 80%. But the question remains as to whether or not they are covering the adequate amount of information that they should be covering during this Michaelmas term. So 6 weeks into the school term, the teacher says they've gotten an A, but it may probably have gotten an A just for 3 weeks of work that they may have covered. So you don't want to become too complacent and say, well, X, Y, and Z. And I want to encourage parents to be an active part of a child's education. Play your part. Remember, it's not the teacher's role. We are used to dressing them and sending them off to the teachers. Now, the teachers are even under even greater stress. They're working from home. They have their own kids to worry about. They have their own issues to worry about. And as we were saying with Dr. Spencer, I want to encourage each and every one of us before you leave, try your best to keep a positive mental attitude. Keep your thoughts positive, keep it clean. Maybe you may need to call a friend. Just call a friend. Yeah, just call a friend and say, you know what? I'm having a difficult day. And something what we need to do is to develop the art of listening. Just listen. Don't judge me. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit wacky what I just told you that I'm thinking, but don't judge me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Because that's all I want you to do. Listen, and it may probably help. Talk to somebody. Find somebody out there that you trust. And folks, anything anybody says to you in confidence, let's hope that you do not break that trust. That while friends, they come and go, trust when it is lost. It's much, much difficult to regain it. 5 minutes on to the hour. This is where we take my departure from you. At the top of the hour, or those of you that's on the radio, we are going to get a bulletin of news from the BBC. At 15 minutes past the hour, on the radio again, we are going to link up with the friends that we were expected to have done that yesterday, but we didn't. We should have done it yesterday, but that didn't happen for that session of prayer from the team inside of New York. For those of you that is on television, we send you back to studio control for your regular programming, and I would rejoin you at the top of the hour. Not the top of the hour, at 9 o'clock. I'll rejoin you in television at 9 o'clock for To The Point with Philip Alexander. So long, everybody. All the best to you. Continue to live life and love life. Treat today, the 11th day, the 12th day of October, as though it's your final day on planet Earth. Just treat it that way. Live life today as though there's no tomorrow. And tomorrow, we survive today. Tomorrow, we do it all over again. So long, everybody. Have yourself a great one.